brothers and sisters, and welcome to this week's Vegematic. It's hard to express sometimes the pain that we are living in, facing this horrendous climactic disaster. You can spend so much time on the internet reading about things, and the bad news eventually puts you in not a good place. And the only thing that can take you out of that bad place is knowing that there are others that are equally concerned with the, let's face it, disastrous mess that the world has become, and it's getting worse, and we're not changing things, and those that are changing things are marginalized, kept in little media corners where they can do less damage to the plutocrats and the money system, pouring plant matter and animals and everything into that grinder and grinding out money. And you think of so many things that are on the precipice, and I continually am grateful for being old and not having to live through the nightmare that is inevitable. It's just not an environmental nightmare, it's a nuclear nightmare. And they're developing low yield nuclear bombs to use in combat. Sure, plastic in the oceans, Fukushima, and now new generation of smaller, friendlier nuclear weapons. This is an evil and a war on humans that is unprecedented. And the people worship science, and yet science continues to give us things that none of us have the wisdom or should have the right to use. We're sold a bill of goods by advertisers and manufacturers that things will satisfy you. Things will never and can never satisfy you, and the very wealthy are to be pitied, really, because they've never learned this. They've never learned that trying to stuff an empty hole with more and more crap will never make anybody happy. It's not how humans are designed. It's not how we're made. There's the deeply emotional part of us that gets neglected, the part that's sympathetic, that's compassionate to living creatures, the part of us that makes us look beyond ourselves and beyond our selfish needs. And we're all encouraged from such a young age to consume, to be part of the consumer culture, and that these things will bring you happiness. And of course, society buries itself in manufactured crap with no thought, and people are in their materialistic bubbles, perhaps acquiring more and more crap, more and more stuff. And maybe one day they look around and then they notice that the sky isn't blue anymore, that summers are getting increasingly arid and extremely hot, that we've destroyed the very systems of life that we depend on. And those of us prescient enough to know what is happening, that manage to pull their collective heads out of their asses, those of us who realize what a fool's bargain we have made as humans. What a fool's bargain. We've entered a time where sensation and greed and lust are the Holy Trinity worshipped on the altar of capitalism. Those of us who understand know where we are, and it weighs heavily upon us every single day, constantly. It's a lump in your chest that is telling you something is terribly wrong. And it truly is a shame that many people don't realize until their life is at the end or heading towards there, that that the things that don't matter, the things that don't matter at all. The things that do matter are the important things, the love that we're able to give and receive. These things are far more important than the mountain of trash created by our uber materialistic society. And it's varying amounts of damage that we're all doing. Some are leading the pack, destroying what little progress has been made, sacrificing it all on the altar of neoliberalism and fascism. Corporate soft fascism is turning to hard fascism the world over. It's not us little people that are doing the majority of the damage. We can all make our little efforts at making things better. But we're in such an individualistic society, and there's a reason why this rugged individualism idea is so prevalent. Because as individuals, most people remain powerless. However, if those individuals band together, they're no longer powerless. So that stuff needs to be blunted and kept down as much as possible. And shutting down the means of communication in various ways. I have seen just on this very platform over the years. Back years ago when YouTube was fairly young, you would have friends and you would invite people to become your friend. You would also be able to post video responses. You could leave private messages which they wiped out. Does anybody wonder why they wiped out private messages? It's to prevent people from getting together. I'm convinced of it. And of course, nobody wants to put their email address out there and leave yourself open to all kinds of abuse by idiots that troll the internet. And so it's just less communication than it used to be. Sure, the comments are still there, and that is satisfying on one level. But no more personal messages allowed. And you got to wonder why they did that. Why would you do that? I'm sure that it wasn't for lack of bandwidth. It's just one more way of isolating humans, and YouTube and Google has been instrumental in isolating people, keeping people in their little boxes where they belong, where they won't cause any trouble. And this seems to be accelerating over the internet as year after year goes by, and the internet becomes less a place of free expression than a tightly controlled media outlet, just like television. And you know, I've been known to be extremely snarky and sarcastic. I don't feel like that tonight, and I just wanted to say some words to a bunch of people that are out there in internet land that truly have come to mean a great deal to me. And I would like for one day, whether in this world or the next, for us to have one great big party. I always thought it would be cool to take over a campsite, just get everybody together. But I'm dreaming, and my aging back is killing me sitting here, so I'm gonna close for this week and just say I hope everybody stays safe this week. Hope nobody freezes to death. I hope we can hang on a little longer to maybe have a little more time to love each other and to do good. So that's the real me, not the sarcastic me. And I hope you don't mind. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon.